rush through.
Okay, then next game is from Giulio, and the number that's too high to say it, against Rezoons. They played their match in the pairing the opposition, that's one team, and the knights who say night off. Night off. The match ended 5-5, so another team draw. And how can I see it? Okay, they were the fifth match, or the sixth match, so in the middle. So there were also not that many facts to say about the standings, or if one of them needed a draw or something like that. Okay, let's go through the game. They played the French, and for all, I just can point out that it was similar to the last game. Also black won, and this time also I thought white should be the one winning. I go through this here a little bit faster because I don't know the exact lines, and they played the main lines or something like that, so I think they should know the opening a little bit better. Also, Giulio or Rezoons, if you're in the chat, feel free to write something in it and maybe point your thoughts out of the match. Okay, let's stay here, where you can see, I can just show you. There are some games. Bishop f4 is the most played move, which leads to variations like Giulio is following. Probably is this one. Up to C. Okay, he knew the position just like here. Okay, c4 d4, and he knew some ideas. Okay, that's nice. You can also see on the clock 50 minutes to 94 minutes. When they started with 45 minutes, they know what they're doing here. And now he played bishop d3. Just want to point out the main line after bishop f4. If you can say the main line, there are 20 or 30 master games here. And yeah, that's in the game, just like in this position, the black plan is to attack the white king, and white does the same on the queen side. Just like, you know.
Is it an idea to put the knight to d6?
Yeah, there's also in the game there are many ideas with this one. I just want to show this position, and we're gonna see lots of ideas in the game, and which are always the same ideas or something like that. But that's just like in other positions, in some Sicilian variations, where one king goes one way and the other king goes the other one, that you try to attack on the side where the king is standing. This shouldn't be new, this idea. So yeah, that's a typical position here, and we're gonna see how the game moved on. Okay, bishop d3, castling. I just get away these. Yeah, Giulio also wrote knight e4, knight d6. He had this idea in the match, and we're also going to see this. Rook e1, bishop e7. The computer doesn't like bishop e7. I think maybe it's a little bit too not so fast.
Yeah, it takes the natural. Yeah, exactly. The knight should go to e7.
Yeah, and then maybe first get your knight. Okay, bishop b4 or knight to d2. First get your knight out, and then maybe play bishop e7. Because later on you want your rook to be on g8, and when your knight is there, okay, maybe you can play g5, h5, bishop, knight to h6, but that takes some time. So bishop e7, maybe you can call this small mistake here. Okay, so let's go through. Knight d2. Yes, like you said, the idea is to play knight e4, and later on also b4 or a3 and then b4. I like the position of white here. Also want to say that this passed pawn is not important at all. Maybe later in the end game, but in this position you just can't do anything with this one. Just if anyone is asking, oh, is black better here because he's got a protected passed pawn? No. Okay, h5, knight e4, and now you see the problem. You can move your knight, but you've got some open space here on g5. So you can't play g5 because obviously it's hanging. And yeah, what to do? If you've got your knight on e7, then maybe you can play h6, g5. But now, okay, how to move on? So knight to h6, and now he goes bishop g5. Yeah, that's one point. You can say, okay, I stop your attack, and then I will watch what I do here. Like in the game, it was takes. Or another idea is just to say, okay, I'm gonna kill you now. So takes a3, and yeah, I really like this one for white. Okay, you've got the idea of playing b3, not to open up the a file, but I don't really like this because you've got nothing here. Even if you can somehow play g5, I don't even have to take this because there are no threats at all.
Marco, this would be a position for you.
Yeah, I really love this. I also love the way white played this one. Just the end was very sad for me also. Rezoons waited for the mistakes, and they happened. Sadly, they happened. Just want to point out if black takes. Now that's a dream for white. You can play queen a1, rook b1, knight d6. Okay, you can maybe play knight f5, but this all you're down a pawn for this position. That's a dream. I just made some analyses here. a6 is hanging.
Yeah, every white piece is actively placed.
Yeah, and the funny thing, okay, bishop c6. And the only piece that's not active is the bishop on d3, and even this one you can activate with c5, and yeah, everything's collapsing here.
Wait, Marco?
Yes?
Okay, it's not working. I was thinking about rook takes, a6, pawn takes, queen takes, king takes, and then c5 check, and then after king a7, it's some rook a7, a1, but okay, you have king
b8. Got this one, okay.
And
but no,
also king a5. Okay, it was just a dream, but
no need to rush
it could
this.
be an idea to
Yes.
play c5 first, to take then on a6.
Yeah, rook takes a6 is now, or bishop takes a6. That's I also didn't make the best moves for black here, but you see how fast this attack can develop. So okay, I think after rook takes a3, that's already lost for black here, which is not.
Somehow it's a bit similar to my loved Banco gambit.
Yes.
But also the pressure on the A and B file against these A and B pawns.
Yeah, but all normally in the Banco you don't castle queenside with.
Oh yeah, castle kingside.
Okay, that's the way to break through. Also b4 and a3 are some ideas for white later. So he played bishop g5, which objectively is not that bad, and yeah, normally I don't like these moves like h3. Okay, maybe knight g4 is a threat here, but normally, just normally, you don't want to move your pawns in front of your king, because maybe at some point you play g4, g5, and then you've got a weakness for white.
g5, g4.
Sorry, what?
g5, g4.
Did I say something
g4,
else?
g5.
Oh, sorry. G4, g5, g4. But okay, probably that's not a big mistake. Knight f5, and also the computer likes to play b4 immediately, and I can understand him. Also, I know that in the game you'd say, okay, I've got this time, so a3, but b4 objectively is the better move. Just wanted to say this one. Okay, a3, rook h6, b4. And yeah, you see the white can attack here, and black, what is black doing? Maybe he's got some rook g6 and knight h4 isn't even working. White's position is way better here, way better. Okay, bishop c6, b5, and now he decided to take here, which I like. The idea of black I liked, cause it gets some chances for him. Objectively, bishop g2 is not that bad, but for sure white's better here.
It seems like a bit desperation.
Yes. Because if you go back, you've got nothing here. You really got nothing. The queen's protecting g5. And that's important. We're also going to see this in the match. That's important to let your knight on g5, not to allow some counterplay here. In the match, that was a mistake Giulio made. We're going to see this later. So takes, of course. And now it's very important to not to move away with the knight, because on g5 that's very that's a safe place, not to let black play rook g6 and attack the king. So for example, after f4 white is good. Black can't do that much here. I think knight
h4 check.
Knight h4, king g3.
And if I take on f4, knight g2, queen takes g5.
Okay, gotta think about this.
I'm a bit afraid.
Yeah, okay, you're right. But the bad thing for black is that you can't play rook g6 at any point. Your rook is dead here, so okay, if you take, you only got the queen here for the attack, and that's not that much. That's not enough. So probably king g3 is the move to make here. Or also, instead of f4, you can play something like queen d2 or queen c1. Queen d2 has some problems. That knight e3 check is working. Because after takes, queen takes g5, rook f3, there are some problems for white, so it's better to play queen c1, because after knight e3 you can just take with the rook.
You can take with the rook and then rook g3.
Yes, and after take you play rook g3, and after d takes e3 you just take it, and you up material and the position.
The queen on d2 wouldn't be protected.
Yes, after queen d2, if we play the same line here.
No.
You can't play rook g3 because your queen is hanging. But okay, that's difficult to see. So I think f4 is the most natural move here. Okay, he goes back, and now objectively that's draw. But okay.
Here it's double attack, it's somehow... White has something to be afraid of, and it wouldn't be necessary.
Yes, and okay, That's difficult to play for both sides, because white always has to watch out for some threats here. But on the other side, if black don't create any threats, white can just maybe move the king over here and say, okay, I'm up a piece. So what do you do now? Okay, rook e2. It's fine. Bishop e4. Rook b3, and now queen d2 is dangerous. Is very dangerous, because it allows rook g6.
You can't take because of queen h4, h1 mate.
We've seen, yes, we've seen the rook cannot get into the match, and after queen d2, there's one moment where it's possible, because you can't take because of the mate here. So yeah, instead of queen d2, maybe play something like b6, a4, a5, because black, okay, it seems a little bit dangerous, but black's not having some threats here, only to give a check maybe, and then h4, h3, h2, h1, but this won't take some time, so yeah, I thought maybe b6 and then a4, a5, to get some counterplay here. Queen d2, and yeah, okay, f3 is a mistake here, but that's very difficult. Both just have under 5 minutes. You can see this one, and yeah, I don't want to say this, but that's a matter of time when one of them is gonna fall for any trick or for any line. Okay, now white blunder, but we're gonna see that also black had some problems in this game. f3, and now you can just take on e4. That's brilliant. Because if you take with the pawn, there's rook d3, and okay, you're up 2 rooks against 1 queen, but black's having 2 pawns, and you just cannot stop these 2 pawns on the.
With this king, if you have the queen against 2 rooks, then the most important thing is to look how is the opponent's king. Because if he's safe, maybe like the black king here, then the queen can't give so many checks or win the whole pawns. But here the white king, I mean, black threatens here now to take on d2, and then queen c3 check with winning the a1 rook, or queen h1 check with winning the rook.
Let's just
overall every pawn will fall.
Yeah, and like Adrian said, if you have an open king, you always have to look. Oh, there's a check winning the rook. Oh, my 2 pawns are gonna fall, or something like that. That's just very bad. So I just want to point out the computer says king c2, and white is fine here. But okay, that's also not that easy to play.
Not obvious.
Yeah, it's not, and it's like I said, it's not obvious.
Black counting here 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns against the bishop.
Yes, okay, maybe white has some ideas of going this way, but okay, I think we don't have to look that deep in this position here.
Maybe it's an idea to exchange queens.
For black?
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Okay, but normally I say if queens are off the board, then I'm fine with white here. So just get the queens away, and I'm happy.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's but okay, here I think black has very, very nice winning chances. I mean, h4, h5, h3.
He also said it was pretty rough for him here.
Yeah, okay, but you're right. Okay, why to exchange queens with this king's position of the opponent.
Okay, let's go through the match, and here he's not winning a rook or something like that immediately. but your position is so bad that the computer says black's winning. Black's totally winning here. For example, after queen c3 he says, and then queen g3, to not to let the king go on c1, and I analyzed some lines here, and that's not very funny for white here. That's really bad. In the game there was rook d3, king c2, and now he played queen f5, which I didn't understand at all. I thought of a move like queen g3 or queen h3 to keep the pressure alive, and now the threat is to play rook b3 and queen c3, rook b1. For example, a4, rook b3. A4 is just the move that white hasn't done anything against this. The problem is if you play rook f1, then just a3 is falling, and yeah, there's so many threats. So okay, just queen g3, keep the pressure alive, and this is not gonna be a long match for now. Queen f5, rook f1 is fine, and now that's a critical point where you've got to find rook f4 to not to let the queen do any damage now. And here white is fine. Here white is fine. Warlock 2008. Thanks for the follow. Let's just move in our PayPal konto if you like it. Forgot it for the first match, sorry. And yeah, but we're gonna say something after the match for this one. Okay, rook f4, and the possible line is rook e3, queen f2, and then just move the king over there, and white is fine. White is a little bit better. Black has 3 pawns, but you always got ideas like rook f8, queen f7 or something like that. Now white is playing for the win here.
Yeah, okay, with the whole rook up?
Yes.
So now, I mean, the point was that before the rook on a1 was very out of play, and now on the f5.
And now I think the most important point is that the black queen is out of the game.
Or Marco, imagine a black pawn would be on a5, then some tactics could be worked with rook f8 check, queen f7 check, queen takes b7 check, rook 1 f7 check, and then rook b8 mate.
You thought about this line?
Yes, and I like very much.
I can understand this one, but okay, there has to happen very much that white's playing a5 here. Black's playing a5 here. But okay, you're right. Nice tactic. a5, nice. Okay, after rook a3 you play king c1.
I mean, okay, a5 was not the most obvious move for black, but
also white can go a4, a5 to build a threat.
Yeah, but then it's not as pretty as because then it's mate in 2.
Yes, you're right.
Not with king b6 and rook b8. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so after queen g5 you have to play rook e4, rook f4, and after queen e1 that was the final mistake. The pieces are too good for black. You can also play queen e3 and take on f1 here.
And what would happen after king f2?
King f2, I've got to watch out. Didn't analyze this one.
Yeah, maybe queen d2, maybe d2 check.
Sorry?
Maybe d2 check and
d2 check.
No, forget. I was.
I thought maybe rook c2.
Okay, rook c2. And if I go back, then d2.
Yeah, d2 or also rook e2 is.
Ah, yes. Okay, this one I like. Yeah, after d2, I think it's maybe unclear, and then it ends up in a rook endgame with 2 pawns up. Maybe here after rook c1, queen takes e3.
Yeah, but this one's also so.
Yeah, of course.
That's easily winning.
It's unnecessary. Maybe rook g3 here, how to protect the g7 pawn. After rook f7, I play rook g5. Okay, yeah, of course it's winning, but
you're right.
The worst case, I can play rook f8, rook h8, and push my h pawn, but yeah, or something like this. But like you said before, after a4, a5, I have some threats also. Yeah, if you go rook f5, then I play a4. You take.
Hey, no. Now I play g5. Sorry.
Ah, okay. Then I take first.
You should take
g7,
first here.
and then I play a4.
Okay, maybe I can go. Okay, I think we could should call it a line here.
Yes, you're right.
Probably this is winning for black, but as we pointed out, rook e2 is winning immediately.
Much easier.
Maybe also queen to g2 here. I just see here. But okay, that's we don't have to find multiple winning moves here. So queen d2, queen g2, king takes c1, obviously not working because of queen c2 mate. Also king takes d3, queen c2 mate. So rook f2 check, rook f2, bishop c2 check. King to e1. I think we don't have to look at any possible lines.
King takes d3, rook takes f2, threatening rook f3.
I think you should take with the queen.
Because of c5. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this losing already? Computer, what do you say? No, it's drawish. But okay, you don't want to draw.
Yeah, you're right.
You take with the
totally done.
You take with the queen, and then you also don't have this idea with rook g4. You've got to play this one and then rook f5. That's way easier to win for black. Okay, so king e1, queen g1, and now d2. Played it very cool from this one here. Now that's a forced mate. d1 queen, check, and then queen d2 would have been mate, but he resigned here. So okay, if we jump to this position, that maybe was the only mistake I can blame him here, cause later that's totally human to give away this match, or maybe rook f4 later, but okay. That's the critical point here. You've got to find something like f4 or also queen c1. F4 for me, that's the logical move. And yeah, okay, we're going to discuss this, Giulio. So yeah, knight f3. Yeah, you could see that if you place your knight on g5 and you do nothing, you don't do anything here, then you're winning because black can't go through. So yeah, here to find f4 is the idea, and later on, where did we get there?
But I like the way black played here with
bishop takes
knight
d2
h4 and then queen g5, the intermediate check. It's very nice to see.
Yes, you're right. We can do this later from the black side, and also the idea of bishop takes g2 I liked. And yeah, okay, here we also set it rook f4 to get the queen out of the game here. Would have maybe won the game for white, or would have had the better position. Ah, you also saw the idea of queen d2. Yes, knight f3. It's maybe the game-losing mistake. Because we also saw that black could have won this one much easier than he did in the game. Okay, you also see 1 minute. That's normal to make mistakes. Adrian said that he liked the way to first give the check.
Yeah, I mean it seems important to play first queen g5 check to have then this double attack to on h3 and f2.
Yes.
I think it's not as easy to find as it seems here.
Yeah, normally you just say I take this one and then let's see what happens. But now I don't think black could proceed because, like we've seen, rook g6 not working. And
maybe this was this little thing white blundered in this.
You know, he said knight f3 was too lazy, but he saw queen d2.
Yeah, I see.
Knight e3. Okay, he wrote one thing I wasn't sure about in the middle game was what would happen if black didn't take the pawn on b4. If black didn't take the pawn on b4 after b4 or a3 b4. He missed queen g5. Okay. Then you're right, Adrian. He wrote here he missed queen g5. Hackerbots. Thanks for following. Sorry. At which point Giulio, you think? Because he didn't take, did he? So he wrote one thing I wasn't sure about in the middle game was what would if black didn't take the pawn. So we've got some lines here. I think before queen bishop g5, and then I'm going to play b4. If he doesn't take this one, so if he plays something like knight f5, maybe I think you can just take. And if takes, you just move all in here, because bishop c6 not possible because of take, and this should be.
It's Pina. He's up.
Yeah. So you definitely gonna take to open up the B file, and if keeps the tension with c5 before. Yes, that's always the same attack. Okay, now you don't have the A line, the A file, but this has to be enough. Simply has to. Okay, maybe if you want to play bishop c6. But I've got c5 again.
And the 96, I think.
Yes, you cannot. You shouldn't take. You just cannot take.
Maybe I can take. No, I cannot.
Rook b1, and then
bishop a3.
You've got bishop a3. Okay, I thought you could play.
Okay, then queen b6.
Queen b6. So I'd rather go for queen b1, bishop e4.
Bishop g5 you could play.
Okay, yeah. To get the material.
Exchange.
Yeah, you've got to play king b8, or maybe you don't have to. You can also play these lines, but I think we don't have to talk about if black is fine or not. That's.
I have a better one. Bishop f4, with the idea to play rook c1 check, and after king b8, I can take on f5.
And then play e6. Okay, very nice.
Okay,
yeah.
But
I also didn't expect it to end that fast, but I like to see that's very easily won for white. Oh, very easily. Sorry, not, but that's a very, very, very good position. Also won. Yeah, okay, so I would close up with the analyze of this match. Also for the first ones, those ones who like, we would be very happy if you would donate some small money. Not necessary, of course. But yeah, we also would thank Lichess for the opportunity to do this, and yes, I would say, oh no, we're gonna go on to the next one.